Hello everyone, and welcome to our video series on using cell phones, tablets, Chromebooks, and other mobile devices in your classroom. Again, we're going to focus on another wonderful tool called Socrative, which, like the other tools focused on in this particular series, can be used either on a browser, which means it can be used on a Chromebook, on a laptop. They can be used as an app. There's an iPad app, there is a Android app for Socrative, so there's a lot of great ways you can interact with your students with these particular tools. So right now I'm at the main page of the website, Socrative.com, alright, and you can kind of see here they have a free account and they have a professional account, which we're seeing sort of the trend in a lot of these ed tech tools. And, you know, there is so much available on the free account that it's a great tool to really invest some time in to learn. And then if you really feel that this is a great tool, you want to take it to the next level and go to the premium account, then I suggest you actually do that. But again, in most cases, you really won't need to actually maybe perhaps use those other features depending on what your situation is. Right here at the top of the screen, you're going to have a student login. So students can, if they can go right here and they can log in. And then you have a teacher login for a particular session. Okay, and then they give you some interesting things about what this is all about. Okay, which you can definitely take a look at their website. I would. And you can get an account, which is pretty easy, and you can choose your plans. Just so we can go through this quickly before we get into the actual tools of what happens here in this particular resource. The free account gives you a lot of great things. One is one public room for your classes. What I mean by that is that you could really only run one activity at one time with up to 50 students. Okay, so again, most of us as K through 12 teachers, this will be fine. You can run a session during your actual class, and hopefully we're not having more than 50 students in our classroom, which is great. Great for formative assessments. I'll explain the space race and so forth. You can share quizzes, which is awesome. There's some great things here. With the premium plan, and there's always a discount. There's always a sort of coupon code. Okay, you know, basically everything here is included, but then you get 10 private or public rooms, which means that you could run, say you have 4 or 5, 6 different classes, you could run them kind of simultaneously, have them ready to go. You could also have private rooms or maybe an after-school resource. There's a lot of flexibility, and now there's actually 150 student capacity per room, which is really nice. Maybe you want to combine all your sections and have them all work together. It depends on what the situation is. There's a cool countdown timer when you run a space race. A space race is kind of a game where the students compete. And there's actually a self-timer, which is really kind of neat. There's some better reporting capabilities here. You can remerge quizzes. This is really nice. You can assign students ID numbers so you easily know who's using your quizzes, which is really good. And there's some shareable links, which is really nice. So you can actually put a link on a website or on a learning management system like Schoology or Moto. So there are some really nice features for the Pro Edition. So I can't say it's not worth the $60 a year, but again, there is some discounts all the time. In terms of apps, great apps, as I mentioned before, for all of your devices that you're going to be using. You can kind of go through all of this, which is really kind of nice. And they have a good resources page. Okay, so if we can go to the teacher login page, it's going to look like this. And it's going to ask you to make an account. And what I really like with this is that you can sign in with Google. So I know a lot of schools have Google G Suite accounts. So if you want to use your school's Google account, that's great. If not, you can make your own account. You can just create an account, which is certainly fine. So either way, it's pretty painless, pretty easy, and you're ready to go. Okay, I'll go back to the student login momentarily when we look at some examples. Okay, so I'm actually going to get out of here, and I'm going to, this is now the main page, the launching page when you're on Socrative. Now you're going to see here when they offer a coupon code like they are right now, they always give you one, and it's going to give you some savings, usually about $10 off, so which is nice if you want to go to the Pro Edition. So the launch page basically has a certain kind of great features here. You can launch a quiz if you already have quizzes ready to go. You can launch a space race, which I'll show you momentarily. And there's some quick exit tickets, which are really nice for a quick sort of end of class assessment. And then you can do these kind of neat quick question things, which I'll show you, which is really kind of useful. And we'll kind of log back and forth between the teacher page and the student page so you can kind of see how that works. Now, when you create an account, they're going to give you a room number. So my number now is 12821. That's been that way for many years. With the Pro account, which I don't have, and I'm thinking about investing in it this year for the very first time, I think you can actually customize this to make it a little more in tune with who you are, a little more personalized. I try to make it like my room number in my actual classroom, which didn't quite get it, but that's kind of the idea. All right. Students use this number to enter your room, so to speak, virtually. All right, so let's kind of walk our way through some of these things here. So if I did quiz right now, yep, it's going to look through all the quizzes that I've made. So I've made a lot of quizzes here, going back, now looking back to 2013, so many years now already, and I can kind of, use these. Now we're reading a book, we were reading a book called Flags of Our Fathers. In my courses, I can select that quiz. All right, I'm going to show you how to make a quiz momentarily. All right. So I select a quiz, all right? And the next step is going to be how am I going to deliver that to my students? So this is instant feedback, which means that they'll get the right or wrong answer. Open navigation means they can kind of shuffle back and forth between questions if you would like them to. And teacher pace means that you actually deliver the questions one at a time. You control it. So there's a lot of functionality and a lot of ways you can customize this to make it work for whatever particular assessment you're trying to deliver. Okay? Now I'm just going to go open navigation. Now, right now it's going to require their names. Now, I don't have the premium account, which means that when they start an activity, it's going to ask the students to put in their names. Now, this is an important tip. I always tell them to put in their last name, comma, first name. Because when you get the results, they're in alphabetical order. And if you put it in a spreadsheet for you, you have everything now nice and neatly organized for yourself. Now, you can shuffle the questions around. You can shuffle the answers around. You can show feedback if there is like a multiple choice question. You explain why particular choices are incorrect or correct. And you can show their final score. This is a premium account where you can only have one attempt, which is kind of nice. All right. So you can kind of mess around with that if you like it. And we press start. Okay. Now, the activity is started. Now, what I'm going to do is it shows you now my class. And it's going to say, well, there's really no one's name yet because no one's really taken this quiz. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the student login. And I'm going to put in my room number, 12821. And this looks really very similar on the app, on the Android and the iOS apps as well. We just press join. Okay. And now it's going to enter my name. Okay, so I'm just going to enter my name. And I press done. And now it gives me the question. Let me go back to the teacher view. Here's the teacher view. So now all of a sudden my name's already in there. And it's showing the percentage of the questions that I have done. And as I answer the questions, it will show a little bit of how far I'm going along. So this is really nice when you use this during class, that you can actually see how far students are progressing. Can we need to move along here? Do I have enough time for this activity? I can hide the names so no one knows who I'm showing. If this is on the screen, you don't want anybody to know who's logged in. But if you tell students to log in alphabetical order, well, they're going to know. So you can kind of maybe change that, or you can just not show their answers, or you can show their answers. All right. So this was a comment specifically on one importance of the rifle. It's a book about World War II. I'm just typing down test just so I can get through this quicker. Okay. I could do like my next answer. I'm just going to write down test. And as I see how I finished, it's going in real time, right? It's showing you that my first part of what I wrote down. It's also showing you, right, that I'm progressing through it. Now, if I say not show the answers, if you can see this box gets highlighted, but it doesn't show me what I'm writing. If I say this, it shows the first word or couple words that I'm writing. So I can kind of go through this. I'm just writing great job, just so you can kind of see. I go to the next question. See how it shows that I finished it. It says great. This shows you a little bit of what I wrote. Okay, and I'm just going to write down test. Okay, and this is my last thing. I say finish the quiz. And it says, are you sure you want to finish it? I made this one a self-guided one so students can go back and forth through their questions. And I'm saying yes. So you've completed it. They're just waiting for the next activity to begin. And it shows 100% is done. Not 100% correct, but 100% done. So that's kind of how it works. Pretty simple. I can go finish, and I can view the chart. I can go back to the launch screen, which is where we first started. If I say view chart, it gives you this. Okay? But now I can go back to reports, and I can get reports too. And it might give me an Excel spreadsheet, which is really nice. It can give me individual PDF reports or specific question PDF reports. Let me get this a little smaller. So, and how would you like these reports mailed to you? You put it right in your Google Drive. Awesome. Or I can download it. Okay, so I can download it, and that's going to be downloaded as a PDF, and you can save all your reports as a zipped file somewhere else. So you get all this data, and this is all in the free account. Again, as long as you know the students are being honest and they're putting their names in, and if this is an in-class activity, that's great. If it's a home activity, I can imagine this might be a little bit suspect. This is why some of the premium features, you can have, private rooms, and you can assign them login IDs if you really wanted to make this an assessment outside of school. All right, so that's kind of where we're at with the quizzes. So let me go back to the launch screen, okay, and we have this space race, which is kind of neat, and I can pick any of the quizzes I've made for a space race. And we can pick, that similar one again. Usually this works better with more of a multiple choice or true-false quiz, which is fine. And I can now create teams. So I can auto-assign a team, and I can create the number of teams that I'm going to have. I'll say 3. I can auto-assign, or I can do student choice. And then if I do student choice, it lets them select which team they want to be on. There's all these icons of what's going to be, used in the space race. Countdown timer, I don't have that option because I don't have the pro version yet, but I can set a countdown timer. I can also, in the space race, you cannot require names. This one you really can't shuffle questions because it's kind of a timed activity. So I press start. So now you're seeing it's giving me 3 different spaceships. Now I'm going back to my student page. We start a new activity. They're still logged in. I'm asking for enter your name. Okay. Done. Select your team. I'm going to be on the blue team, and then I can start racing. So here's the question. It's only, there we go. And it says it's submitted, and now I'm on to the next question. Okay, let me just refresh this. It should have done it. And usually the spaceship moves as the students get into the quiz. Okay, I'll do one more. Usually this works better with the multiple choice, because then if it's the correct answer, it will actually move the ship. So it's not really moving the ship right now, but I think you get the point that as the students answer the questions correctly, their ships move across the screen in real time, which is a super exciting game. I've done this even with juniors in high school, and they get super excited about this, and they're all trying to race each other. So you can imagine how this would be in the middle school or elementary levels as well. Press finish, and again, you have the same report options. I'm going to go back to launch. Okay, exit ticket is really nice. So this is just a pre-made sort of thing. It didn't ask you to enter in any to select any quiz or anything, because let's go back to my student view. I'm going to enter my name again. All right, and these are the standard questions for the exit ticket. How well did you understand material today? Yep, I totally got it. Second question, what did you learn in today's class? Seasons of the weather cycle. I don't know. Okay, great. All right, I can submit the answer, and then please answer the teacher's question. So here it gives the teacher the chance to actually ask a question verbally, or they could post it on the board, or post it on the computer screen, or post it anywhere they want, and now they can answer that question as well. So that's the standard exit ticket. So again, it gives you some great results, multiple choice question. It gives you a question to see what they already learned about, and then you can add your own question verbally. So that is your exit ticket. Quick, easy, out the door. Just press the button. You're ready to go. So that's kind of a nice feature. Getting a lot of our observations for our teacher, assessment. Ask for exit tickets. That's an easy one. Okay. Now, These are called quick questions, and they're very similar to exit ticket, where it's just post multiple choice question. So let me just show you this one. Multiple choice question. It just is saying, this is all it posts. It has 5 answer choices. You can't really change any of this. But if I go back to my teacher view, see how this is on the screen now? So a teacher can now either post this as an actual question on the screen, or they can have some kind of verbal thing, A, B, C, or D, and then they can just answer it. It's just something real quick. Maybe you're thinking of something, and maybe you're going over some review, and you just say, hey, who thinks this is the right answer? Boom, they got it. You don't have to enter in any questions or any images. You can always post those as something different. And that's it. You submit the answer. Done. I submit B. Done. And that's it. It's just one question. Okay? And then this something now gives you the results, and now you can talk about it as a class. Okay, everybody's saying this. It didn't even ask me who my name was. This is just for a quick sort of in class, let's see where we're at, and have a discussion about a particular question. All right? Same thing with the true or false. Okay, true or false. Boom. Okay, well, all right, what do I got? So if I go back to my thing, it's just this is the student view, it's just true or false. I can say false, and now if I go back to the teacher view, it says, okay, 100% of the students entered false, and then maybe we can have a discussion about that. So it's kind of a nice little tool. It's real quick, real simple. It gives a lot of nice visual feedback online. And then here's the short answer question that allow unlimited responses. And here you can require students' names if you really want to, or you can, if you have the pro account, the attempts. All right. So you can type this in. You don't have to. You can just start. So you can post the question on the board and just press start. And now I answer, this is terrific. Submit the answer. Oh, because I could do it multiple times. That's right. And now you can hide the answer, or you can even vote on which answer students thought was the best. You must have multiple, 2 students to do that. So that's really cool. So I think that's kind of a neat thing I show the answers there, or I can remove this particular answer. So that's really kind of nice. All right. So there's your launch screen, which gives you a lot of the features that you can use on Socrative. Okay. Now, if you get the quizzes, you can look through all your quizzes here that you've made, which is really nice. There's some features here where you could download a actual copy. You can copy a quiz if you wanted to sort of rename it, or you wanted to have multiple sections. This is how actually I did mine, because I have 4 sections of the same class. So I made the first one, and then I copied it again and again, and I just gave it different names so I can use it for my different sections. All right. I can also download it as an actual file that can be filled out in class. It gives you spaces to write on. So again, maybe if you're absent and you need a quick thing to kind of give the sub, you can actually download this as a paper activity. Interesting. Sharing, which is really nice. You can share this, and you can share with other teachers, or you can share the actual link, and then other teachers can actually import this into their own accounts if you're working with another teacher, which is great. Okay. I can check all of them. I can check some of them, and I can move them into folders, which I really haven't done much with the folders yet. This is actually a fairly new feature. But if you really want to organize your quizzes by subject or type, you can kind of create folders now, which just wasn't available actually a few months ago, which is a really nice thing that they added to keep things organized rather than this long list of quizzes. All right. This is also where you add a quiz, and this is super easy. So I can add a quiz. I think I had this checked. Let me uncheck that. Let me add a quiz. I'm not sure why I'm getting, I'll get that later. Okay, here we go. I can import a quiz. So if I had that link or that code from our teacher, I can do that. I can also do create a new quiz. And here we go. So I can give it a name, and I'm just going to call it test session. And I can align it to a standard. And if you can really get into all of your standards here, it has them all here for you if you need to do that. And then you can select the multiple choice, a true, false, or a short answer. So again, multiple choice is pretty easy. All right. What you can do is you can add your question here. The formatting, you can turn that on and off. You can add a image here. Okay. You can type your questions here. You can also add explanations of why the answer was right or wrong. You can move this particular question up or down in the quiz. You can copy the question, or you can delete it. Okay, and then you can add a true false. Okay, let me just delete it, because I don't want to do that. Okay, yep. I could add true false question, similar thing. I could add an image file, which is really kind of nice. Let me delete that. Or I could add a short answer question, all right? And then correct answers are optional. You could actually add some correct answers here. This works best if it's a single sort of response, kind of like there's only one right or wrong answer. And then you can put that in, which is helpful for self-grading, because this will grade multiple choice, and it will grade true false and these sort of single answer options automatically, as long as you're pretty clear about it. Obviously, if this is a short answer discussion, you can't do that. So it's super easy to create a quiz, all right? Other things we have here in terms of rooms. Okay, let me get out of here. I want to get out of this particular question. Go back to my launch page. Go to rooms. This is my default room. Now, again, if I had the premium feature, I would have multiple rooms, and I can share the room, and I can have rosters assigned to each room, so you can really do that. So I could add a room, 10 rooms. I could, really do all these kind of neat things in there, which I think is super useful. Reports goes through all my past quizzes. I can get reports on when they were administered, and it tells you the date they were administered. You could filter all that out. You can delete them. You can archive them. And then this is just back to your results page from your last quiz. Okay, so super useful. This actually tells you here how many people are logged on to your activity. You can clear the room as well to kind of like start a new activity. So there you go. A lot of awesome features and super useful. And I really hope you enjoyed this. All right, have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.